Hi, my name is Veronica Akles, and I want to talk about healthcare's impact on the elderly. I am in gerontology 497. My essay is due June 14th, 2021, with my professor being Terry Trula. How seniors can health can be protected. We need to make sure that our elderly are not being over medicated, and that the appropriate medication that they're supposed to be on, and hopefully that in the time that they're on, that they can tests be run for regular checkups to make sure that they're not being too over medicated, or it's not affecting any other issues that they're having, like, say, for instance, liver disease or anything like that. The percentage of people met with problems due to medication is is 20 different over 20 different drugs, but who's to say that if they're not being properly watched with the medications, we won't know how it affects the person, and then it can increase the risk of falls and hospitalizations within a year, which causes most seniors to break hips and bones of that nature, because no one is properly seeing about the elderly. Some drugs, as anti-inflammatories as naproxen, or antipsychotic drugs as thirazidine, and another opiates, are some of the risk for falls and fractures, because of the medication that's in them, and the elderly cannot handle a lot of those medications to that point, and it'll cause things associated with heart and renal failure. The Bears list a lot of drugs that deals with cardiovascular and musculoskeletal and respiratory and the central nervous system, and geriatric depression and anxiety is another form of medication that needs to be watched on a regular basis, because it's part of the problems that the elderly are having. And I know that with the geriatric depression, it causes an anxiety. It causes patients to not necessarily help them, but it can have a reverse uh, effect on them and just cause a reverse reaction. And it doesn't help. It over medicates them, and they can't handle that. And I know for a fact that most patients, they end up having a lot of nervous system issues and respiratory issues because the medicine does not agree with them. And with that being said, the impact in health and aging, if if we make sure that the patients are being watched, it can prevent harmful effects in the elderly. And some drugs can be avoided if they're not, needing to make sure that they are monitored every so often. And depression in older adults start with a younger age. And when they do studies on them, they, go by age, gender, and other medical issues that they're having, to make sure that they do a study to show that the patients are being treated like they need to be, in that, to make sure that they're not over medicated. And seniors can improve our lives through research to improve our society, by the research that has been done to improve our way of living. The medications and the different diseases that take over our body is a way to improve the society that we live in. And here are my references. Thank you. Have a good evening.